How you doing? Randy Richard in the shop. Hemingway kits, spherical turning tool. Well, we're up to building the slide piece. Now we've got this part almost complete. It still needs a little more work, but we're following the instructions as we go. Now we just finished making this little brass piece that goes in here, and that fits down inside that hole, that half-inch bore. But we're gonna make this. This is the slide piece of 3/4 by 1.5 inches or so. So anyway, yeah, 1.5 inches by 3/4, free machining steel stock. Let's see here. Here's the detail drawing. Here's what it will look like in the end, here and here. And here's the detail drawing for it. Here's a cross-sectional view of it right here. So over to the mill, and we'll get started. Put the slide material in the vise. What we're going to do is we're going to mill out these corners, as I've kind of marked out here in the Sharpie. We want to end up with the width of the center to be 0.7188 and evenly spaced in the middle of the block. So I'm going to come in, final will be about 388 in on each side, and the depth will be 5/16, 0.3125 deep. And I'm just going to use a 1/2 inch carbide end mill, Niagara one, the same one I use for making dovetails actually. So we're just going to go in there and mill that right out, almost a full width. And almost full width. Now we'll come over and do the other side. Perfect chips. A couple little blue ones in there, but mostly all nice straw colored. Just beautiful chips. So I'm just checking the depth of my cut, and I'm at 200 thousandths, 205. Yep. So I'm going to come up another 100 thousandths, do each side, and then we'll readjust our for our depth. We're about 742, so we're a little wide, and that's just good. We're going to adjust that net after we get our depth right. I'm just using a nice little square carborundum stone here just to clean any burrs. So I'm at 309. Alright, I've adjusted for the 3 thousandths in depth, and I've adjusted for half of the width I need to take off. And a depth check, and we're right on 312. So that's perfect. We're still a little bit wide. And we're still 9 thousandths wide, so we're going to take off 4.5 off of each side. Another quick measure just to make sure. We were looking for 7188. We're at 7176. So just a touch under, which is will be just fine. When they give the dimensions in a fractional form without tolerance, I think 1,000th is just fine. And my depth is within a half a thousandth or so, looks like, or less. Now I'm going to move it out here to the end, and we'll clean up the ends and get her to length. So I flipped the block over. We're going to do a light facing cut, and then we're going to cut dovetails, edges on each side. I'm going to touch off on this side. I'm going to come most of the way in till I getting close to the top edge here, and then I'm going to come over here and rough this side also, and then I'm going to measure and work my way in so I'm even on each side. Now they tell you to take your headpiece and do a test just to see if it fits, right? Well, of course it doesn't fit. I'm not small enough obviously yet, but to keep doing that until it just fits. Alright, by using the DRO, I would make a cut and then zero it out as a saved position in the Y. Then I come over here and make the same cut and zero it out in the Y with another save point. So I could go back and forth and still be at zero, and when I went to start to take another cut on it. This is a very difficult thing to measure the width of. One thing, what I did was I took this steel parallel and just held it against each jaw, so get the chips off, held it against that jaw, took the depth gauge, held it flat on the top of the jaw and flat against the edge, like so, and slipped this parallel in there against the jaw and measured it. So that was, it doesn't matter what the number really is, it just matters the comparison of the two. So I'm about 6'12", right there, about 6'12". It's a pain in the butt to do, but it gave me a relative distance. So I'm at 6. I'll take that back. I'm at 606, let's say, right? 606. Then I'd flip it around this way, hold it on the other side, and do it against the other jaw. And so I could get a relative measurement of center. So I'm about 613 there. So I'm a few thousandths difference, but it's very small difference. I don't think it's going to make. They don't say anything about instructions how well that has to be, but I have it so it just slips on. Either way, any which way you want, from either side. It's not slipping all the way because this is just sticking up a tiny bit in the center, but we're going to bore this out so it doesn't really matter, but this just fits, and then we should be able to adjust these a little tiny bit to make a better fit, I guess. So that came out real well, and we'll pop it out of there. You can see the finish on the dovetails came out really nice. It's beautiful, and that's so far. So it slips right in there. Nice joint, nice perfect fit. The dovetail cutter I used is the very first one I made. That's the one I'm using there. You probably, I don't know if you can see. Anyway, figure out what we got to do to this next. Well, there we go. I took a stone and just stoned down the little tit that was stopping this from sliding in there, and I've deburred this. It came out really nice, and that's no adjustment at all. And you can see probably, oh wait, I should have adjust the focus here. There we go. You can see beautiful sliding fit. We'll get this close here. Anyway, thanks you guys for watching, and we'll be back to get more done on this. This is kind of some of the miscellaneous parts that they don't really talk about much in the plans, but they're on the plans and you do need them. This part here, this is part number 6. They call it the boss, and then this washer made out from this 1¼ slug of stock right here. So we're gonna get these turned out so we have them when we need them for some of the other steps to hold everything together. The details are right here for the washer and for the boss. I think what we'll do is we'll turn the washer first. It's only 3/8 of an inch thick. It's not very thick, and I should be able to get it turned and parted off. And then we'll use the rest of it to make the boss part. There we go. How about a little light? They call for 1¼ OD. I think that's what this stock is. So it's it's 1¼ inch. So really there's no need to turn the OD of it, but if you want a concentric, you probably should, or you have it lined up really well. So let's just check it to see what we got here. So we're talking 5 thousandths. Then does 5 thousandths really matter? Hard saying. All matters how perfect we want it. So I took this end still has a burr on it, so I flipped it around from the face stand, which has no burr on it, and you spin it in there as you tighten the chuck, and you can see how that feels. And I put a little more in the chuck. Now I'm only 3 thousandths out. Now 3 thousandths isn't too bad. I could sit here and dial in the chuck a little bit better, but actually the chuck is dialed in. That's the issue there, is should I redo it just for this piece of stock? Nah, I don't think so. I think we're just going to leave it at 3. I'm going to take this parting tool and I'm just going to flush it with the end here. use my dial indicator on the ways to go over 3/8 of an inch. Basically right there. And I'm just going to cut a small groove. Now I have my 3/8 of an inch. Oh yeah, looks good. We need to drill a hole in a counter bore. We'll do that now. Here's the washer, deburred ready. And board to size, I think. Oh yeah, nice. That's just perfect fit for a boss. I'm gonna go put this. This is the slide or the head and shaft. I'm gonna go slip this on with it on the body, with the body on there, and see just how long that really kind of needs to be. I think 3/4 might be too long. So here's the body slipped on there, and then this is going to slip on there. And we have a lot of room here, so I'm going to do it at 3/4. But I measure, I have actually I need it probably longer because I measure a little longer than that. So yeah, here's the shaft and body, and I measured this at 8/28. So I really should make that actually longer, so when you put the washer on, it draws it all tight and pushes it down. You don't want it to hit the washer, hit the shaft, and then you can't adjust it. So 3/4 would be actually too short with this, with the way it's set up. So we're going to make it 8/40, I think. Yeah, a little longer, 8/50. I think we'll do 8/50. That gives me just a little bit of length. So I took it over to the service plate and marked it out at 8/50 for the height. Makes it a little easier to set up here. And I'm just going to put it in there so it's deep, and I'm just going to face it to that line. It's not that much to face off, so. Yeah, we'll call it good. We got some holes to drill in it. We'll get that done too.